I'll give him a minute. I apologize for that. If he's not on, we will get started.
Bernard, this
Yes.
is Vic. How you doing? So until Mike gets on, can I just give everybody a few reminders?
Can't fucking hear nothing here.
Yes.
Okay. The first one, which is very, very important, the dues were due December 31st. So I'm asking everyone, and we received a low percentage as of this date. So I'm asking everyone, please send their dues in as soon as possible. On the website, we have the Zelle address, and we also have the PO box. Also, as important, I'm asking everyone who did not send in their refresher exam, please send in their refresher exam. After maybe another 2 weeks, I'm going to look at the questions that were frequently missed, and then I will be putting it out on the website with the ruling, and hopefully in the future, we could do a lot better in reference to handing in the refresher exam and getting the rules correct. So I believe Mike is on now, so I'm going to let you hand it over to Mike, but I just wanted to remind individuals, again, number one, the dues are due, and also number two, the refresher test was due December 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. But I want you to know you're going to have to do that again because we have still, I hope you don't mind. And those who may have heard it now don't have to stay on, but we'll do this again at the end so that everybody who jumps on late will hear exactly what you said. It's also going to be on the website. So we can actually go to the website and listen to it as well. First and foremost, good evening, everyone. We are here, the executive board is all on this evening. We call this meeting together to basically want to check in with everybody, hope that everybody's doing well, families are well, and they had a good holiday. We know we're living through this COVID situation, so we wanted to get some feedback. I've gotten some feedback from officials who've contacted me, and I want to make sure that I share that with the board about things that are going on inside their experiences with the PSAL. So that's why we're doing the PSAL update that we're sharing with all the officials and the information that I have received. But before we get started, our President Mike Howard is on with us. Mike, would you start us out with some few words and some information that you may have had what you would like to share with the board?
Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Of major importance to be safe out here. This coronavirus, this last strain, is very highly contagious. In December, I've had 2 incidents in my household, one being me, even though I am fully vaccinated and had a booster shot. The testing situation, especially in New York City, you can catch COVID waiting online to get a test. I think it's very important that wherever you work, let it be high school, community leads, if they have no contact tracing for a game official, it is your choice to decide if you want to work or not. You know, Board 42 is not holding anything over your head, but I think it's very important that you be safe because some of us have relatives due to underlying conditions. They could not get vaccinated, but you're out there doing games and you take a chance of bringing something home. So I just say that going forward, and it should have been months ago, be safe out there with this stuff. I came through one of the worst parts of it being in a coma, and I don't play with it. I recently took a situation and put it on the table because I had a choice, participate in in-person meetings or put my situation on the table, I chose the latter, put it on the table, because nothing more important to me than my health, well-being, and my family. So I just wanted to start you off with that tonight. I am a parent with a youngster on his way to college, so I have a Zoom meeting with a college in a few minutes. So I just wanted to jump on here. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and it's your personal choice. I would, if you have any underlying conditions, you have a medical director, you pay a lot of money for that insurance, talk to that doctor and see what he or she says. With that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Bernard because I have a meeting, a college meeting with my young man. Okay, be blessed and be safe.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your few words and good luck with your son this evening. Okay, with that, some of the updates that I like to share that I have received from feedback on. And I think it's very important that we all take heed to this. If you're running late to a game, please contact your assigner. You know, the assigner does not need to hear from someone else if you have a game and you're going to run into some traffic issues or whatever it might be. Please contact your assigner. It's very important. Availability sheets. A lot of us filled out availability sheets in November. This COVID's been amped up and ramped up and everything else up. And a lot of folks may have changed their availabilities due to the fact that they may not want to go ahead and officiate any longer during this season, or their schedule has changed or anything to that effect. The main thing that I'm asking everyone to do, because the assigner is trying their best to assign games on the availability that they have. And I know that there's officials who have received messages and they said that I took myself out of those situations. My recommendation, I'm not telling anybody what to do. It's a recommendation to go through your availability sheet and update that availability sheet. If you're no longer interested in officiating, please send an email to the assigner. Let the assigner know. Let the assigner know if you can let the assigner know that you're no longer available for this season in an email, then that way the assigner can take you out of that rotation of looking for you or looking for games for you because you are no longer available. Let's show a little professionalism and respect. There's a lot of work that comes with assigning. So we want to make sure as officials, as independent officials that we are, as independent contractors, we comply in a professional way. So I think it's very important that everybody who is continuing to work, look at your availability sheet, get that over to the assigner so that that can work out, good for everybody on all ends. If you're working, you should be wearing a mask to go into that facility. Wherever the game might be, you should be wearing a mask to get in the building. Once you are in the building, be sure that when you take the court, you're wearing a mask. Because there's no need for the assigner or anyone else as a mentor that I am to other officials to get a phone call about officials not wearing a mask. There is no need for it. We all should be on that same page. We all should be conscious of it. Something that came up last week that I think I want to share with everyone, post-game reports need to be done, even if it's a great game. What is a post-game report? A post-game report, for those who don't know, is just writing a summary of what happened during your game. Could be something in your pregame. It could be something that happened with your table staff, something that happened, transpired with a coach. But it's very important that you look and you take that information and you start to chronologically put it in order when that game is over. Reason, if something occurs and your assigner can call you to ask you what transpired, you can break it down in that chronological order. It makes everybody show professionalism of your care for you doing that game of basketball. You're getting paid to be a professional. Act so, do it in that professional way. Some of the things that may come about in a post-game report could be you had no partner. You're not throwing your partner under the bus, but you don't need your assigner to call you to ask you what happened in your game if you can automatically do that after a game. They would know that your partner did not show. You're not throwing your partners under the bus, and your assigner does not need to hear about that later on when you felt like, oh, I wasn't going to say anything because I got through the game was fine. You don't know what's going to happen later. Another thing, if your partner's late, I've been in this a long time, and you all that do know me, I've been around this basketball and assigning for a long time at all levels. You're not ratting your partner out. You're not talking about your partner by letting your partner or the assigner know that your partner was late. It's good practice so everybody knows. You can tell your partner when that game is over, I'll let the assigner know that you were late in case anybody calls the assigner. That's nothing to be concerned about, ratting out, talking about, criticizing. Think in a positive way. You may get to a gymnasium, the clock's not working. You go through the whole game, the assigner knows nothing about it. They get a call from PSAL. PSAL may turn around and say, why didn't the referee tell you about it? Those are prevention officiating. Prevent it before it happens, do a post-game report, get that in. There was a fight in the game. We don't need to see it on YouTube. Let your assigner knows, that there was a fight in the game, or something happened during that game. And sometimes the good thing that I find it, even if you're doing rec ball, let your assigner know, because at the end of the day, prevention officiating is the best officiating. So whoever's assigning that assigner to assign that game to you, if he gets or she gets a phone call, they can say, oh yeah, I'm totally aware of it. I already did this. That's being proactive. If we start practicing that, we got 3 weeks, 4 weeks left in the season before the playoffs. Let's try to finish it up in the right professional way. Okay, another piece that I want to talk about before I turn it over, we have a guest speaker that you all know, and I'm very proud of him that he took the time to present something to us this evening. This is financial tax time, and we should be preparing for our tax season. And one thing that we need to understand is all of your income is something that the IRS is looking to see, and you would want to see that as well. So the one thing that I'm going to share with you, just a few notes, if anybody wants me to do something with them individually, I'll be happy to do it with them. I am a certified financial advisor as well, and I'll be happy to do that with you, to share that information with you. The one thing you got to remember is you are independent contractors. You get paid by checks, and you get a 1099, or you get cash. As an independent contractor with that 1099, you should be showing all of that income. How do you handle your yearly taxes? You should always include all of the income. Why? You want to show the income because you're going to do write-offs within that income. Them write-offs come from your dues, uniforms, referee gears, insurance, camps that you attend, meals, travel, miles. All of those things are write-offs. If you have a rent in your office, if you're using your office as a write-off, your your cable bill, your phone bill, education, magazines. All of those things are things that you can utilize, and there's a ton of others. But the reason why you want to be able to show all of your income, because if you're going to be writing things off, you want to show that all of that income that's coming in your house. Another reason for it is if you're going to buy a house and you said your W-2 showed $60,000, and then you said that you tell somebody I make $100,000, they want to know where that $100,000 comes from. So where's the $40,000? The $40,000 may be miscellaneous income. And you want to be able to show that miscellaneous income, especially when you're going to buy a home, sometime to get a personal loan. All that income is going to help you. So those are things you want to think about doing. Most referees don't include all cash games. We know that, but you should. The total income less your deductibles is what you pay taxes on. So just remember that you're only paying taxes after your deductibles are done. Understanding your tax, your 1040, make sure you understand your Schedule C. That's where your miscellaneous income is. You want to make sure you understand that. We cannot do the wrong and think that it's going to keep going wrong, because it will definitely catch up with you. And when it catches up with you, you're going to pay it back, and you're going to pay it back with interest. So before we start thinking about doing something from a tax preparer standpoint, make sure that we understand these type of things and these fundamentals. And if you want to go a little bit more in detail or get some more information, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to speak to you about it. Victor, you want to add something, or did I miss something?
Bernard, you touched upon the most important items. And again, and I don't know if you said track your mileage, sneakers that you buy, all the taking your clothes or your uniform to the cleaners, all those are applicable expenses and very, very important. And what you want to do is, after you do it 1 year, you will have a blueprint for next year. So all you have to do is say, last year I spent $20 in cleaning, and then you know this year for the season starts, I need to make sure I keep my cleaning expenses. I need to keep my travel expenses. A lot of these things are not new expenses. They carry over from year to year to year. All you got to do is just log in the information. So I think that and what Bernard said, you will do very, very, very well.
Okay, the other thing with that is a lot of folks believe in taxes carrying over the fiscal year. The fiscal year is January 1st to December 31st. So all the games that you just did up to this point, you do not include them in your taxes for 21. Make sure you only keep the income that you have, received for 21. Your cash games, the way you track them is making sure you make a deposit. When you deposit, if anybody's auditing, they can see that audit that goes along with what you're doing on your 1040 Schedule C. Again, if there's some questions that someone needs to ask, I'll be happy to sit down and talk to them. And if I can do anything to help you with them, to make you aware, and if you're totally aware of it and you got good tax people already, God bless you and good luck to you. With that being said, I'm trying to keep us as short as possible. We have a great person I've known for a long period of time. Very proud of him, and he wanted to share something with us tonight. And I'm glad that he brought it to the table. So with that, and further ado, Creighton Barry, would you come on over? It's a special day, and I'm happy to hear you present. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, because I didn't get a chance to check my audio. I just thought when I found out that we were going to have this meeting here on Martin Luther King Day, we would be remiss, as a board, and Board 42 in particular, if we didn't take the time out to really, celebrate and acknowledge, what this day truly is, and Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So as we all know, or some of you guys, if you don't know, the history of Board 42 is pretty much, rooted in the fact that there was inequality and lack of access for officials of color to officiate high school games, both public and Catholic, and other tournaments within New York City. So on this Martin Luther King Day, as we sit here, we talk about the business of officiating. We can think about Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, but we could also think about the shoulders in which we stand on of those giants that went out there and did what they needed to do to give us this opportunity to go out there and officiate, high school games in our communities. Just this weekend, I traveled up to Massachusetts for a big, high school tournament, and time again, when the court was taken, it was a majority of people that do not look like you and I, However, the players on the court were our guys, our players, the young players that we put in time as coaches, officials, parents. They were our kids, but we had other people, other officials with the lack of diversity on the court managing the games. So once again, 50 years later, if we look at the news today and we look at, how voting rights are being attacked in our community, I just wanted to make sure that we don't take for granted today, Dr. Martin Luther King's Day and the sacrifices that he made and the giants, within the officiating community that they made so that we can referee time and time again. So once again, let's just take a minute, or actually about, a minute or 30 seconds of true silence and reflection on what we can do as we go out there on a day-to-day basis, and serve our community, the sport that we love, and think about, how can we make things more accessible and how we can be better, as officials, as men and women of color, to, service our community and service basketball. So without further ado, let's take these 30 seconds now, and then we can move on, for the great late Dr. Martin Luther King. Thank you.
Thank you, Creighton. I appreciate it. And thank you for remissing and giving us all this information and history that a lot of us may not even be aware of. But as we take it and go forward, what you brought up, I thought was very important. We have a lot of officials with a lot of experience. All of them are not on this evening, but it's very important that we understand how do we get to some of these next levels in officiating. And we have mentors, and a lot of us senior officials who've been around it. We want to be able to, get out there and teach. And those younger officials, please take on information with positiveness. Do not take it on as somebody's trying to dictate or tell you what to do or how to do it, but just take a listen. And if it applies, use it. If it don't apply, just let it go. Because the more that we talk about getting officials to the next level that looks like the players that are playing in the game, it's hard work and work that needs to be done. And how do we do it? We mentor those younger officials. We compliment the younger officials, and some of the older officials who have opportunities to still moving up. They need to take on those responsibilities of attending, as we would say, attending camps, networking outside the circle, working on your craft, and trying to become a better official. And the only way you can be a better official is by putting in the work. A lot of us have been lucky and fortunate enough to referee all over the states and in different countries and other things like that. I know that I have, and I know I got a lot out of it. And the reason why I sit here and do the things that I do is because I want to share that information and that joy that I've had to helping others become better officials in the referee game that made me feel good about it. So with that being said, another one thing that I would like to share with us, some upcoming information that's coming about us. The new referee class that IAABO did, we're going to be starting floor work on January 22nd up at the Boys and Girls Club. I know that from my knowledge, I know there's going to be PSAL games going on Saturdays and Sundays now. But some of the older officials who've been around, it's got a moment that they want to come share some information. We will be doing that floor work and helping out. And if you're 1 or 2 year official and maybe you're not getting a lot of work, this may be an opportunity for you to work on your craft or hear certain things that maybe you can add to your game and make you a better official and somebody that may catch an eye at what you're doing and go from there. The other thing that's coming up in April, it will be the IAABO Spring Conference. It's going to be down in Ocean City, Maryland. My recommendation is for us to learn how to network, especially when you're trying to, as you would say, grow in the referee community. These are places that you go to network and be there and be visible. We have Fred Ellis. Is going to be honored this year. He has 50 years an IAABO member, and Fred Ellis is going to be recognized, and we're going to be in. We're going to put him inside the magazine for that event for that weekend or 4 days that they're going to have the conference. If you can get away and get down there, I believe the rooms are like $129 a night, but it's worth it. Again, that's your write-off. You stayed at a hotel, the miles that you went, it was business related. So those are things. So it's not like you wastefully spending. It's something that you can do that justifies the job that you're doing. Again, the website is there. One of our fellow officials, Anthony Hand, sent us a message today that I thought was great. It's going to be up on the website if it's not up there already. We're going to be, the COVID test kits are going to be coming out. If some people may have already had. So Anthony, or as we would say, Hands, thank you for that information. That's what we're talking about, sharing information with your board members. So this way that we can all grow together. So I think that's very important. We're going to put that up on the website. There's other things that's on the website, including this meeting is going to be on the website. So please, please think about all the things that we have up there that applies to you. Use it. If it don't apply, don't get it's not personal. We're here to help the board grow and put us in a better position as officials. And all we're looking for is for officials to have a good time doing it. Is there anything else that I missed, Vic? Or you want to add anything?
It's very, very important, and Bernard alluded to availability sheets. The vehicle that's being used by Ms. Brown is Zebra Web. So updating your availability on Zebra Web will help Ms. Brown tremendously. Okay, so it's very, very important that you close out a date if you're not available, or if you get some information stating that you do have a game, go right into Zebra Web and accept it. That helps her out. Now that she doesn't have to worry about reaching out to any of us because we didn't do what we're supposed to have done. So that's one of the first things. The second thing is, I said before, the dues were due December 31st. The IAABO refresher exam was due on December 1st. So if you haven't sent out any of these items, please do it as soon as possible. It's very, very important. And I want to let you know, last year we had a waiver from IAABO National in reference to dues. That's how come I was able to just take the dues at the face of value of $100 without any penalty. This year, the waiver is gone. So when we get a penalty, I will have to pass it on to any of the individuals that paid late. So it's important. And then I'm gonna allude back to Fred Ellis, and then I'm gonna give it back to Bernard. For someone to get 50 years, they had to be dues paying member for 50 years without any interruptions, not one interruption. So, you know, when I say it's important you pay dues, if you are dropped and then you come back, that's an interruption in reference to your dues. So you have to start all over again to get that award of 25 or 50 years or whatever, how they give it out. The second thing, I will be sending out an email again in reference to where the new individuals will be practicing their floor work. I will be in the email. I will also send out the the website address and also the PO box. I will be sending that out via email, and it's also going to be on the website. And with that, Bernard, and then everybody, happy Martin Luther King Day. It's very important for us to take a minute again to reflect on just how important he is. and the problems that we had 50 and 60 years ago, the craziest thing, we're dealing with the same thing right now. Isn't that crazy? So Bernard, I thank you, and everybody be safe and have a great season.
Well, thank you, Vic. And I would like to close with also saying, Creighton, thank you for all your support and giving us the moment of reflection. And I think that we should all look at this as another stepping stone for us gathering and being together. Again, that website is there for us for information purposes. We are only a phone call away. If we work together, we look better. We stop with thinking that we're individuals. As referees, you always have a partner, and we are partners in this game. So I'm looking forward to the balance of this PSAL season for us to work together as partners. The recreational basketball that I do a lot of the assigning, I'm looking forward to speaking to some officials about post-game reports, because if you practice now, when you go up that ladder, and the more that you go to different camps, if those of you who are going to attend camps, those who went to my camp last year, when you walked in, you got a pen and a notebook. Use those pens and notebooks, because those pens and notebooks is going to be the information that you're going to need if somebody asks you a question. So you should be writing down after every one of your games a summary, even if it's a rec league game. And it's something I want to share before I even leave this Zoom session. I had some younger officials call me to tell me that because they are getting high school games, that they do not want to do any middle school rec games because they are above those games. And the one thing I want to share this with everybody, I want everybody to know this from an official who's been around this game a long time. Every game you work, there's something you can learn. There's something you can learn. They could be the littlest fourth grade kids to a pro game. If you want to learn to work on your 10-second count, work on your 10-second count. Do not tell a signer that a game is beneath you because you're just working out and you're a young official. So that's for all of the officials that are getting opportunities, because we're in difficult times right now. We're getting opportunities to do high school games. Don't get your head bigger than what it really is. That's just being straightforward. That's telling you to work on your craft. That's work on, and anytime you get a game, that ball leaves your primary in a little kid's game, learn to work in your primary, not only on the ball. That's what you do with those youth games that are younger kids. And if you want to become a better official, those are the games that you want to get an opportunity to work, so you can work on a craft. Because you get a high school game, you may not get an opportunity to work on anything. So let's take that as just knowledge. It's just information. It's nothing pointing at anybody individually. It's just for us to understand we all got growth in this game. We all got to work together, and we can all do it if we work at it together as an organization. With that being said, has anybody got something they want to add before we close out? I'll be happy to hear it.
Could
Hey,
you
Bernard,
ask
it's
what?
Heather.
Okay,
No,
hold on.
go ahead, Heather.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just to reiterate what was said about the availability, this is week 4 or 5 into using ZeroWeb, and I would appreciate that you really update your availability. I can't get past assigning open dates and assume that you're open just to go back and redo it because you made a mistake. I had over 225 changes last week. So keeping your availability updated is important. Those changes come at the last minute, and I'm scrambling to get officials. A lot of you last week worked one person. It's going to happen again. Just know that I'm aware when you're working with one person, because you were assigned by yourself. You must put a telephone number up on the website. Some of you don't have telephone numbers. Your partners cannot get in contact with you. Other than that, stay safe. If you have an issue, first send a text, because the phone rings constantly from 3:25 until 7 p.m. while there are games going on. If there's an emergency and I don't respond, you need to call me and let me know. Other than that, please update your availability. I can't move past one day if folks' availability is not updated. And if you don't want to work, that's fine. I don't need to know why you're not available. Just close the date out. Thank you.
Heather, thank you so much for that information. And I hope that everyone can understand the importance of understanding what an assigner goes through with the number of games. We all have roles, and as officials, our role is to put our availability because we want to officiate. And if you don't want to officiate, just send an email and advise them that you're not going to work this season. This way we can all stay, and as we would say, on point. So when you get a game, it's a game because you gave that availability. And at the same time, with the transitioning of everything that's going on, and COVID is happening and games are going to be canceled, we're hoping to finish out the season the best way we can. And if I am correct, Heather, they did open up Saturdays and Sundays, because I did speak on it earlier. Am I correct in saying that, Heather? I think I am correct. Victor, am I correct?
From what I've seen.
I'm sorry, yes, I apologize.
Okay.
I couldn't find my mute. Yes,
Okay.
there are games on Saturdays and Sundays. The boys' season is short. The season ends on the 4th of February. So they have to get the games that are needed to be made up. There are games this Saturday and Sunday. On my schedule, we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4 sites. It's not up on the PSL website yet because permits have to be generated in order to finalize the games. So that's another reason why it's taking this long to get the schedules up, because schedules keep changing. But there are games starting at 9 a.m. in the morning, Saturday and Sunday, and the last games start at 3, either 3 or 4:30, depending on the site. Murray Bertram's supposed to be one, Hunter College, Truman, Stevenson, and 2 others. As soon as the permits are completed, then the games will be finalized. If you show open and I give you a basketball game and you accept the game, please don't text me and tell me you did by accident, because I'm no longer accepting that as an excuse. The first couple of weeks, yes. This is week 6. Thank you.
Professionalism is very important. And if we act in a professional way, we should be treated that way. The more that we, as we say, prevention officiating, I said it earlier, that means take your availability sheet, update them, send them in, and I'm good to go. Now, going forward, and you just heard that we're going to have games, or PSA will be having games on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't know, would they be double headers, or they'd still just single one game per official, or can that official work 2 games in one day?
No, it's 1 game per official. The system does not allow you to work 2 games. If it happens, it's complicated to get paid. And I'm trying to avoid all complications where people's money is concerned. Just because right now the person who's doing the payment has been out. So I know folks are not getting their money in a timely fashion. And until they come back to work, it's basically it's a mess. So it's one game. If you get a second game on that day, it doesn't go into the system. It goes into on a paper form. And I don't know where I know where it's supposed to go, but if that person's been out for 2 weeks, I don't know where that paper goes. So I'm trying to avoid people having to put in that form to get paid.
Makes sense.
Heather, this is Victor. I got
Yes.
a text from a new official wanting to know, will there be JV games on the weekend also?
As far as I know, no.
Okay, thank you.
These are the games. They may slip in a couple JV games, but as of right now, it's just the bulk of games that was not played during the week. The last week of before the Christmas break, there are not too many JV games that are being rescheduled because they know we don't have officials. So there may be a few games in there, but as of right now, none of my schedules have a JV game on it for this weekend.
All right, great. So with that being said, we got the information out, share it with other fellow officials. Again, start thinking about some of the things we're coming down, as he said, probably another 3 weeks before we get, to the playoff season. High school basketball is important to us as a board. So we want officials to work, but if you're not able to work because you're uncomfortable because of COVID, that's another good important point to let the assigner know. But again, that availability sheet, updating it is going to be imperative to her handling the assignments for Board 42. Again, as you all know, I do a lot of rec ball. And while I'm doing some of that, it's important for me to know that as well, because I don't want to assign somebody a game. And if you're not available to do the game, I don't want to assign one game twice. So if you're not available, you're not available. It's not a problem.
Bernard, this is
Yes,
Vic
sir.
for the last time. Would you ask Ralph, and I think he alluded to it via text, that this meeting will be on the website? So
Yes.
and I will be sending out an email stating that this meeting's on the website, so you could tell other individuals that missed it that they could get this information via the Board 42 IAABO website.
Okay. Yeah, I already did that, and we are definitely on recording it for that reason. Go to www.board42.com. It's going to be up there. It'll probably be up there tomorrow. There's other information about the COVID kits that's on the website as well, and past information. So we will get that out and get that up to everyone. Again, please share this information with all the fellow officials that are not on. And if there's a question or something that you didn't hear or want to get more of an explanation, please feel free to reach out to Victor or reach out to myself. We're both available to answer your questions. And if we don't, we'll be able to get you the information and get your question answered. Are there any other questions before we close out? I did see Fred Ellis. Is he on? He may have lost him. Mo, where's your partner?
He's on. He's still there. I'm seeing his name. He's still there.
Okay.
Fred, call on Fred.
Fred, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, thank you for the well wishes and the congratulations on the concerning my 50 years in the IAABO family. Thank you very much.
Well, we want you to know that we care about you, and we definitely will have, quote unquote, hopefully with God's will, we have a posse going down to support you during your welcome to 50 years. So I'm thankful for you as well.
Thank you. Hey, listen, what was that website again where you can get the previous information that was given during the meeting?
Yes, I'll give it to you right now. You got a pen?
Yes.
www.board42.com.
Board 42? Board 42.
Yes,
And board is spelled out, right?
yes.
Board42.com. I got it.
Yeah, just go on it, Google it, pull it in, and say hello. And there'll probably be something about you in another few days.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And stay healthy. Make
Yes,
this a
sir.
good year.
All right, I didn't have to get Mo to get you this time.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Bernard.
All right, buddy. Everyone, thank you and hope you have a good evening and look forward to seeing everybody soon. Stay safe and be well. Thank you, Vic.
You got it,
Thanks,
man.
Thanks, Bernard. Good night,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you.
All right, good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.